Yeah, okay. And you're drinking it. That's amazing.
This is loaded, and I get so passionate about this. Cacao in itself, cacao is just the Spanish word for cocoa. So we might know it as cocoa. And cacao, as like they call it in Latin America, it was used as a superfood, a healing modality for many cultures. It could be like the Olmecs, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, etc. They used it. You know, it was a part of their culture. Cacao was a form of currency. It was a form of money back in the day. And not even too long ago, we're talking like right at the time when like colonizers came to America, they were using cacao beans as like money to trade with gold and other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very sacred and intentional food. Like the Mayans say that it's as old as corn in their cosmovision. So cacao, like in like neo-spirituality, they turned it into a ceremonial setting. And traditionally it wasn't that, like in those cultures. Like it was like an in addition to thing. Like it wasn't like ayahuasca or like other plant medicines. Cacao was like, oh, we're gonna have a fire ceremony. Let's also have some cacao and drink it. It wasn't like ceremonies centered around cacao, around cocoa. So now, like, so intentional drinking cacao that like I have in my cup here, and how you might hear cacao ceremonies, it's usually branded by the grade and where it's from. So like the intention made behind it. So let's say like big corporations like Hershey, Cadbury, Mars, like all of them, like they're more in the consumership. They're not in the intentionality behind cacao. So they're just mass producing, which a whole nother conversation is about child labor over in West Africa, because 70% of chocolate comes from West Africa. People think that like the best chocolate and stuff is from like Europe, and it's like they get their beans from Africa. But anyway,
amongst other things, right?
Amongst other things, you know, that's how it is. It's like it's a big deal. So people don't know that. Like they just put chocolate in. But the thing is too, without the addicting sugars they put in chocolate, it's used as a very healing medicine. So if we're talking spiritually, it could be like, why do we have this attunement for chocolate, for cacao? And it's because we can date back to like how they used it intentionally. So the cacao that I drink, and it's from Guatemala, and it's from Ecuador. I use different kinds, but it's and essentially it's like, you know how we hear chocolate is an aphrodisiac?
Yeah.
It actually is. It is. The scientists have coined something in it called the bliss molecule. It's called anandamide, and it's inside of cacao. So what this essentially is, we associate aphrodisiac with like love, sex, pleasure, which is true, but the actual true purpose of aphrodisiac is just it's euphoria in self, it's harmony. So that it puts our frontal lobe in our brain like in this beautiful space of just receiving and joyfulness and bliss. That's why like it's an aphrodisiac. And that's why it's really potent when people drink cacao and then journal, drink cacao and then go and make music, or, you know, things like that. So I'm really passionate about it. I could talk on cacao forever. And
I love it.
I'm actually coming out with a brand with my business partners in September, and it's going to be the first Black-owned brand like that bridges Latin America and Africa within the brand. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So we can definitely, when that comes to pass, we can definitely have a whole like talk about that as well.
Let's do that. That sounds amazing.